All right, everybody, welcome back to
Dog.
Talk Sports. It is week one. The wait is over. Football is officially back. The roster cuts have happened. The final team captains have been named. We are 24 hours away from kickoff with the Baltimore Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs. Rematch of the playoffs last year, which was a really good game. Looks like it's going to be a really good game again tomorrow. Cannot wait. Just so excited. Just so excited for football. Fantasy starting, betting on, the wallet's going to start hurting again because we're betting on every game possible. Just the,
Not hurting. We're collecting this year. We're
you know what?
collecting.
I collected the first half of last year, pitiful, awful. Second half of last year, very profitable. So it was very roller coastery. But you know what? That is the masculine urge to just throw the bets out there. So, but before,
Trend to real quick, a trend to pay attention to, where I think we got caught by surprise in recent years is defenses come out so far ahead of offenses to
yes,
start the year.
yes, very, very true. Defenses are faster than offenses in today's NFL. So, but before we get into some football, we are going to touch on the Yankees a little bit due to popular demand. They suffered probably their worst loss last night.
Absolutely
Every
heartbreaking, man.
every every week, for the past 2 months or so, every week there's been like a new worst loss of the season because they can't help themselves and they just vomit all over themselves and just don't know how to play the sport of baseball at all besides like two people. So the Yankees suffered a walk-off loss to the Texas Rangers. Rookie Wyatt Langford, who bats like ninth for the Texas Rangers, hit a walk-off grand slam because DJ LeMahieu cannot play first base and Clay Holmes cannot close. So just a comedy of errors once again by the Yankees, just shooting themselves in the foot and afterwards shrugging their shoulders and say, "Oh, it was bad luck." Just a really despicable culture that Aaron Boone has created in that locker room where there's just no accountability. The theme of not putting your best team out every week and favoritism of certain veteran players is another head scratcher. That's now finally making national news. It used to just be like Northeast news, but now we have people writing columns when the Yankees decided to not call up Jason Dominguez in favor of Alex Verdugo because they're geniuses and we don't know nothing. So, with that being said, Clay Holmes blew his 11th save last night, most in majors. The Yankees do not have a closer going into the postseason. Everyone knew they needed a closer, and because they're so smart, they didn't get a closer. So I don't really have much else to say other than this team is fucking dog shit. And they're super lucky that the rest of the contenders are also dog shit right now, like the Phillies and the Orioles, who also seem to just be vomiting all over themselves, which makes it even more maddening that the Yankees could have easily gathered themselves and put the best team out and put a 10-15 game lead in front of these assholes. But they decided not to because they just don't know what they're doing. They're the worst run team in all of professional sports. And that is not really exaggerating because they're the only team I know of that doesn't play their best team every game. So I'm going to let you guys kind of take the floor a little bit. I was on a fucking total tangent last night and I was inconsolable because it's just another reminder that this team isn't winning anything and they'll be beaten ALCS by either the Houston Astros or the Baltimore Orioles because they're managed so poorly and there's just no accountability, there's no culture, there's no nothing. It's been really nice seeing Juan Soto in pinstripes, and it's going to be really awesome to see him in Mets orange. And that's just the way it's going to be. You could go, Dan.
You know what? I'm gonna let Pete go because his will be the most positive, and then I'll try to be positive after him, but I don't think I'm gonna be positive.
Dano, I would like to end on a positive note, so you take the floor.
Okay, all right. So, I think the Dominguez thing, him not being called up, is a little bit of an overreaction. They did it because they want to manipulate his service time so that they kick the can down the road on his free agency another year. I mean, a lot of teams do that, so I'm not going to fault them for doing that. I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. I don't think they're ready to win now without a closer. I think there is an opportunity to see if Luis Heel can be moved to the bullpen. They get him some kind of high leverage, opportunity in a game. If he does well, see if he could do it again the next night. If he could do it 2 nights in a row or 3 nights in a row and be really effective, give him a chance to at least set up for Clay Holmes. I think Clay Holmes is going to be the starter. And I don't think I just don't see anybody else on the roster who could be the starter right now, unless you try something like, giving it Luis Heel a shot. And that's really the only chance the Yankees are going to have to win in the postseason because, I mean, we see it every year. Pitching goes up a notch, defense goes up a notch. So you're not just going to be able to score 10 runs a game. And that's where I think, unfortunately, I think Zach's right. It's more probable than not that they're not going to figure out the closer situation and they're going to blow a game in the playoffs to send them home.
They had 2 years to figure it out.
Yep.
And they didn't. Because they're like, ooh, 2.84 ERA. Ooh, the computer.
I mean, it's crazy that we knew going into the year that Clay Holmes wasn't a good closer.
Yep.
He got lucky in the opening series against the Astros, and ever since then he really hasn't been great. I mean, especially after, what was it, May? I mean, once we got into June, I mean, he's totally fallen off. So
the Yankees are 39-40 since June 1st, by the way.
Yeah, as soon as the calendar turned to June, it was like a new team. It was like the old Yankees from last season all over again, just with Juan Soto and with Aaron Judge having his best season.
Yep.
And we're still messing up around all of that. So we deserve everything we get. If Juan Soto leaves, we deserve that. And I'm not going to feel sorry for us. Seriously, like, this was such a special situation. You win the World Series with this guy. He signs with you. He definitely signs with us if we win the World Series. And I'm just getting really pissed because I think we're seeing that all come to a head. And I'm sorry, Pete, but I agree. I think this is the last of Juan Soto and pinstripes. I just don't see it.
So, after 24 hours to digest this atrocity that happened last night, because as soon as Clay Holmes came into the game last night, I went, well, this is going to be rough. And then,
Yep,
bases loaded, down 3-0 in the count. I was like, well, he's throwing right down the middle. This is going to be a homer. Fouled the one off, got it to 3-2, kablam, out the park. I was not shocked at all. I think I'm the most positive Yankees fan out of this group.
The world.
This group, you're not that positive all the time, so.
I'm a realist, though.
Yeah, you are.
I also don't think that it's necessarily we're fucked, because the rest of the league seems to teeter in the same fucking atmosphere as us. Is it an indictment on the way that our team is managed? Yes. Is it an indictment on the way that our GM put together a team? Yes, because we knew this going into the year that all of these things were glaring holes. And now it's finally come to a head. I mean, this happened with Chapman. He went through a fucking shitty stretch where they threw him into the 6th, 7th inning to kind of pick up. The same thing's going to have to happen with Holmes. I don't think that Luis Heel is going to be an option to be a closer because we just spent the entire year stretching out the kid's arm to be a starter. That's a recipe for disaster. I think you put that kid into a high leverage situation. He walks too many people to be in that sort of position. And just let alone you're going into those situations, and as a pitcher, you're emptying the tank every fucking time you come out onto the mound. I just feel like that's going to be a quick trip for old Tommy John.
Yeah, but Pete, I don't care about that. We got to win. We got to win now. You're okay. You're right about the walks. He might come in and walk the world, and we don't know. But dude, we have to try something, man, because this isn't going to work.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're just going to have to do it situationally. And I don't think we're going to have a closer. We're getting Efros back. I think he's probably our best shot at having a closer. But unless Holmes figures it out somewhere in between now and October, I can't see moving. Like they talked about Schmitty, moving him in. We need him in the rotation, in my opinion. So
yeah, but this is a good year to check to see if any of these kids can throw in the ball. Why not? Why not? Pete, we have to win this year.
And listen, I get it, but I just don't know who you tinker with, because you just spent a season and a half getting Schmidt to finally come around to being a middle of the road starter.
Bro, we're the Yankees. We're the Yankees. Unfortunately, these guys might get hurt. That's what they signed up for. We've got to be able to, year in and year out, fill a starting rotation and a bullpen.
And again, an indictment on Cashman.
Yeah, but that's the situation that we're in.
Corbin Burns should be in our rotation. Josh Hader should be in the bullpen.
Hader should really be in our bullpen.
These were things that should have been taken care of when we can. But now it's you're fucking pull and pray at this point.
Now we're fucked. Because now we need to figure out who is going to close for us. Because we thought it was going to be Tonkin for a bit, and then the Yankees just decided to, we're just going to let him go.
I don't understand.
That's so crazy to me that they just decided to do that.
They filled his spot with fucking this lighter kid who has a 12 ERA. I don't get it.
Was there something that I was missing with Tonkin? Was he not good in the clubhouse, or
don't know?
Don't know.
That's the only thing that I could see, is that maybe he wasn't good in the clubhouse, and they felt like they didn't have a choice.
He was our best reliever.
He was our best reliever. Like, it doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, what are we doing here?
Sounds like the Yankees.
What are we doing? So that guy had a chance to maybe close games.
The only thing I can hope for is Judge and Soto go on a meteoric fucking tear, and we win by 7 runs every game. And
Pete, that's the only thing we could hope for at this point, honestly. And it's so shameful. It's so shameful to think that these guys who have been MVPs for us all year long, that we're just going to expect them to just, do Herculean things in the playoffs to get us to the World Series. It's just so unrealistic, man. It's just, we've seen so much baseball. The best players in the world don't produce in the playoffs sometimes.
It's a very short-sighted management on Cashman's part. I understood what you said about the contract timing with Dominguez, but realistically, like
We're trying to win.
6 home run today. Dominguez should be in that lineup tonight.
But
Listen, I thought he would have been called up already.
Yeah, we should be caring about, like Dan said earlier, we should be caring about winning this year, which means you call up Dominguez with the September call-ups, and I don't give a fuck about his fucking contract situation. If you're trying to win right now, right here, and put the best team out every single night for the rest of September to get hot, to build some chemistry going into October, that's the winning move you do. These are the things that Juan Soto is seeing that show this is not a winning culture. He wants to be somewhere where he could continuously win because he won in the Nationals. And he's like, I want to go somewhere I know I can win every single year. Yeah, sure. The Yankees are competitive every year because they have Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole for a bit. And they're always going to be in the mix for a playoff spot. But if he looks at this manager and this team and goes, why is this kid not here? What, he's still hitting? He can't hit. Oh, the DJ LeMahieu is still playing first base. Didn't we just activate Rizzo from like a 3-month hibernation? Like what are we doing here? He sees all of this. He's not an idiot. He's a baseball genius. And
Soto will be a Yankee next year.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I don't see
you
it
got
at
a
all.
lot more hope. You got a lot more hope in that than I do.
This is a loser culture built by a loser manager who blames all his failures on bad luck and soft contact and just fucking.
But guess what? He's not going to be the manager next year, and
Probably not.
Cashman shouldn't be the GM next year, and Hal Steinbrenner shouldn't be the owner next year.
Well, it seems like Cashman has a lifetime contract, and yeah, Hal Steinbrenner isn't going to sell the Yankees.
Steinbrenner.
You think about how.
It's not like Hal is willing to spend. Like Hal is willing to spend when his fucking little Kremlins get in his ear, you know. But the Yankees.
He needs the pressure put on him.
Yeah, he needs the pressure put on him, and he's done so in the past. Look what happened with Aaron Judge. So maybe the pressure gets put on him again to bring Juan Soto back, so that the people across the fucking river or across the borough in Queens don't snag him up, because the Mets are going on a playoff run right now, and they're building something there. And I guarantee you he's eyeing it because everyone knows it's going to be between the Yankees and Mets. He's not going anywhere else. It's already been reported multiple times. They're the two teams that will offer him the most money, and those are the two teams he believes he can win with. So you have to do everything in your power to convince him to stay. And what the Yankees have been doing this year has been the exact opposite of convincing him to stay. It's just that simple. The only person I think that'll get him to stay is Hal Steinbrenner and Aaron Judge. That's it.
And really, it's Hal Steinbrenner because Hal Steinbrenner has to pay him.
Yeah. Hal Steinbrenner signing the check, but it doesn't hurt that him and Judge seem to have this synergy together that they feed off each other.
I agree that they do.
Because that's what, listen, if Soto would have got along with Tatis Jr. and Machado, he would still be in San Diego.
Because they're willing to pay. They're absolutely willing to pay.
But he didn't get along with them. So
he said, I'm not coming back. So, well, anyway, I don't want to harp on the Yankees too much. They've already taken too much of my headspace. I'll see you in October when you're actually maybe take things seriously a little bit. I'm going to soak in the first 4 weeks of football so that I could forget about them for a bit. And then
Yankees still winning the World Series and they're signing Juan Soto.
I hope and pray that I'm
okay, Pete.
I hope and pray. But I'm tired of hoping and praying as a Yankee fan. That's all we do. So
I agree.
But let's get to the main event of the evening. NFL Week 1 predictions. You all know the drill. We're going to go through every single game, pick our winners, pick the match.
Go, baby!
Pick the upset, the blowout, fantasy player, sleeper fantasy player. Let's get rolling. 24 hours from now, Baltimore Ravens in Kansas City versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This was my matchup of the week right off the bat. This is very easily could be the AFC Championship preview here. I'm going to go with the Ravens here. The Ravens have beaten the Chiefs in the regular season before. And the Ravens are a better regular season team than they are a playoff team in their recent history with Lamar Jackson. The addition of Derrick Henry and the addition of a couple of defensive pieces. The Ravens are the better team on paper. They have the reigning MVP. I understand Kansas City's home. There's very few times I'll ever pick against Kansas City, but the Kansas City lost their home opener last year against Detroit. So I think it happens again. I think the Ravens win in Kansas City for the season opener, because it's not the playoffs. If it was the playoffs, I'd pick the Chiefs, but it's not the playoffs.
This is my co-main event of the week, matchup of the week, because I got two. And this is the first of them. And the best player on the planet is playing. Patrick Mahomes at home. Lost last year in the home opener. Not happening 2 years in a row. We're going the Red Kingdom on this one. Kansas City Chiefs, which very may well be a AFC Championship preview. Yeah, I got to go with the Chiefs on this one. I think it's going to be a back and forth, in your face, just smash mouth game. Big points on the board. Chiefs.
I think the Ravens are a natural mismatch for the Chiefs. I think they play a physical brand of football on offense, and I think that's what could beat the Chiefs this year. You remember they lost cornerback, what's his face? Terrible, I forget his name, but they're down in the secondary, and who's the guy who you really need to make sure doesn't beat you on defense? Chris Jones. Well, the Ravens, in my opinion, have a recipe for that. Run Derrick Henry at Chris Jones and get 4 to 6 hands on him every play. And that's how you could beat the Chiefs at home to start the season. And I like the Ravens getting 3.
All right.
What we got for Ray?
And auspicious by his absence, Mr. Ray Tremor is doing God's work, saving lives, protecting people. But he did be able to get in his picks, and he takes the Kansas City Chiefs giving 2.5.
All righty.
All right.
Next game. Friday night game. First game in Brazil on Peacock. This is the worst idea I think the NFL's ever done. But I have to pick the winner of this game. I think the Eagles should win this game. They're considered the home team, but it is a neutral site. I think the Packers are coming in this year a little bit overhyped, in my opinion, especially with the weapons that they have on offense. I think the Eagles are just flat out a better team, more talented team. They're reloaded with the new coordinators. Saquon Barkley's there. I think the Eagles just have more talent on both sides of the ball, and I think they get the win on Friday in Brazil.
I mean, what a raw deal for the Eagles to. This is a throwaway home game, basically, because you are in Sudamerica and no one's wearing green. It's dangerous. Can't walk on the streets. People are saying they're not leaving their hotels. Like,
the stupidest thing the NFL's ever done. It's the stupidest thing. They don't fucking care about football down there. Give me a break.
Roger Goodell cares about padding his bank account.
Well, he should care about his players not getting shot by fucking Brazilian gang members.
Listen, his players are getting shot in their home cities in San Francisco.
That's true. That's very true.
Well, because San Francisco is a third world country, so I'm not really.
Well, what's a little Brazil then?
They might care about football down there, but it's just the principle of it.
Yeah, no, I agree, but this is the perfect opportunity for a Jordan Love led team to step into the first Friday game and spark some noise. Let's go. I got the Green Bay Packers upsetting the Eagles in a neutral game.
Yeah, I like the Packers getting 2 points at a neutral site. It's supposed to be an away game for them. I think it's a good opportunity for them to catch a team like the Eagles off guard, a team that's, should be ready to start the season and is very talented. But this game to me, just, the psychological factors going into this game with the players not even wanting to play there. I mean, to me, this is a total toss up. So give me the team getting the points, and that's the Packers.
Well, not if you ask Mr. Ray Tremor. He's got Fly Eagles Fly giving 1.5. So I think this is gonna, the problems of last year are just gonna roll right over for Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. I don't know. I like the Packers on this one.
Listen,
The problems might reoccur, but I still think Hurts is going to have a floor, so to speak, for his production this year.
I agree. Next, back in the US of A, Panthers at Saints. I'm picking the Saints. I mean, just the Panthers are abysmal, and they have an abysmal quarterback. I know they have a brand new coaching staff. Let's see what they can do. This is a whole new era for them. But, I mean, that team is still pitiful. The Saints are still kind of put together with some mediocre players and patchwork veterans. So they'll end up beating the Panthers because the Panthers are just crapola.
Panthers are hot garbage. Let's just call it like it is. There will be no Derek Carr slander in my presence. I have to go with old number 4, taking it to the Carolina Panthers.
I have Spencer Rattler taking over at halftime for Derek Carr and winning the game for the Saints, giving 4 points.
Stop. Get out of here.
I think the Saints are giving Derek Carr a leash this long to start the season. This long. Because Spencer Rattler blew up in camp. He blew up in preseason. I'm telling you, I know some of you guys don't like him, but just you wait and see. I think it's going to happen.
What did Raymond think?
Good old Raymond. He's got, oh, come on, man. No Carr slander in front of Ray either. He's got the Saints giving 4.5.
I'm almost positive it's because he thinks the Panthers are atrocious, but
I mean, I have the Saints too.
Oh, stop.
I have the Saints giving 4 points, so
yeah,
I'm taking the Saints.
So universal pick here.
Yeah.
Universal.
Family pick right there. All right.
Yeah.
Family pick. Yes. Next, Vikings Giants. Home opener of the 100th season of the New York Football Giants. They will wear those ugly century red uniforms. Helmets fire, though. Uniforms, not so much. I will be in attendance with Nicholas, Dylan, the Detellos, and my lovely girlfriend, Steph, for a slobber knocker, as Pete and Dan used to hear in the 90s on WWE television. This is my... This is my This is my upset of the week. The Giants are underdogs at home here. I understand the Vikings still have a good coaching staff. They still have Justin Jefferson. They added Aaron Jones for a weapon on offense. They have a pretty decent offensive line, but Sam Darnold's the starter, and he has no good history of being any good in MetLife Stadium, as Dan will tell the whole world. But the Giants have a really decent pass rush. They have an ability to maybe have a top 7 pass rush in all of football with the division, with the addition of Brian Burns. Giants secondary is weak, so I expect Justin Jefferson to kind of torch him up, but I don't think Darnold's going to have time to get him the ball too much. I think the Giants beat the Vikings at home. They have a history of beating the Vikings. They're my upset of the week. I'm going to homer a little bit because I'm going to be there, but I also just think they're going to beat them.
It's only a 2-point spread. Giants are only getting 2 points.
Now, I'm saying this is my upset of the week. But even though they're favored, I still feel like they should be the underdog. I'm going Minnesota Vikings, ruining the 100th season homecoming for the New York Giants. Sam Darnold, baby. Where the magic started, he's finishing it with Justin Jefferson, baby.
I will say this. Our season will be determined on Sunday, just like last year.
Oh, don't say that, because
our season was determined last year on week 1.
It was.
Me and Dan and Rich said it right afterwards. We were like, the Giants season is over. Yeah. So if the Giants can come out and get a solid win against the Vikings, maybe the season won't be a fucking total loss.
And I think they will. And they're, like I said, they're getting 2 points, but only 2 points. So Vegas doesn't think this is going to be a blowout. I just think that the Giants, the way that they're built right now, if they play to the strengths of their quarterback and run the ball and do a lot of play action, I think they could kind of tear up a defense like the Vikings. I really do. So I also agree, Zach, that the Giants pass rush has a chance to be special. And if they could get after Darnold a little bit, that's all it's going to take. I mean, we've seen it before. Guy doesn't play well under pressure, and not many quarterbacks do. So, yeah, give me the Giants getting 2 points at home.
What does Raymond think? The fellow Giants hater.
And, good old Raymond. Are we ready for this? Given a half a point, he takes the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
I just think it's just pure hate in his heart.
Wow. There is so much hate in that man's heart right now for the Giants.
Like the Giants won.
He's like the Grinch before he discovered that he loved Christmas. He has a hole in his heart for Daniel Jones and the New York Football Giants.
Like, the Giants have really got Ray in a spot where he's considering dropping the team. Like,
he's not considered gone. He might as well just send him to Cincinnati, Ohio, and just burrow it up, because that's his team.
That's his team.
That's his team.
I love him so much, but the Giants won 6 games last year with 2 deadbeat quarterbacks, and
that's been our argument. I mean, he's heard our argument a million times. He's not going to get off of this. So what we need to see is the Giants have some kind of success like they did in year 1 under Dable, and then maybe Ray will come back from the ledge.
God.
I'll tell you what, if the Giants mess it up this year, I mean, it's gonna be tough to reel some fans back in, because now you're on jet level despair.
If they lose
it doesn't work this year.
If they lose the home opener,
it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be
good. They do really have jet level despair in front of them if they don't be careful. They need to win at least 8 games this year. At least 8 games.
They lose this home opener and say they suck this year, and Daniel Jones is not the guy. I mean, they let Saquon go, right? Because you don't pay that money for somebody that's not the quarterback, right? That kind of hurts too, because Saquon was loved by everybody, I feel like. So I mean, he necessarily wasn't fixing anything, but when you have a fan favorite, I think, in my opinion, that you let go because you're managing the team a certain way and you have an idea for the team, and then that doesn't work out. It's a bad look all around.
I agree. And you know what? It really hurts them, especially in a game like this. To open the season, you knew you would have had a healthy Saquon Barkley. He would have probably had a really good game. And, you know, that part of it, when you think about it, you know, that hurts. But the Giants still have a chance to have a successful rushing attack with what they have right now. They got to get creative. Dable's got to get Jones moving around. He's got to get multiple backs involved in the game plan. I think if they draw it up and call it right, I think it could work against this team.
And Dable is taking over all offensive play calling duties this year. So
I think they know they have to run the ball. The Giants have to run the ball, period.
Devin Singletary, baby.
It's the only way they're going to have success this year.
I agree, because they ran the ball like crazy in year one. They had the third most rushing yards of any team in the year one of Daboll. Like, that was the theme, because then it opened everything up and it made Jones's job easier. And that was a shit team. And to Pete's point, the Giants did lose a fan favorite in Saquon, but they're about to gain a fan favorite in Malik Neighbors when he fucking torches the Vikings secondary. So they're gonna forget about Saquon real quick when he has 5 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. Calling it. Unretired number 1 for the New York Football Giants.
Imagine this. Go goose egg. Big old zero.
You know, that's the problem is they're gonna throw him the ball like 12 times a game. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, the Giants couldn't possibly mess that one up. No. I mean, they couldn't.
Totally confident in him being very good.
Pete, that's sub Jets level despair.
That's never gonna happen. If they had to throw him the ball 25 times a game,
that's fine.
and you got to think about the games that they're getting blown out in, where all they're going to do is throw short passes. I mean, he's going to get targeted a
13
ridiculous amount of time.
He's
going to get the ball. Whether the Giants are good or not, he's going to get the ball.
All right, moving on. Next, we have my blowout of the week: Patriots Bengals. Joe Burrow healthy. Jamar Chase decided to practice. The Patriots are one of the worst teams in football. Drake May's not starting. Not even a conversation. Joe Burrow is going to blow him out at home in Cincinnati.
Oh, Joe Shiesty with that blonde hair. Woo! Jamar Chase, 3 tutties in this game. Look out. It's going to be a massacre. I'm talking a 30-point blowout.
I was going to say, I think 3 touchdowns might be conservative. I think they have a chance for maybe even a 5 spot. So, give me it. They're my blowout of the week, too. And they're giving 8 points to the Patriots.
And Cincinnati's own Ray Tremor, surprisingly, +7.5 New England. No, really? I'm just kidding. He's taking them, beating the brakes off of them too. This is probably his blowout of the week too. Just Zach Moss shoving it in the end zone. Chase Brown end zone. Higgins touchdown. Jamar Chase touchdown.
Zach Moss, baby. Let's go. Give me some Zach Moss this year.
And I would just like to interrupt this broadcast. Juan Soto just hit a 2-run home run. Just throwing out there. Yankees are losing though. So
I'm sure. Exactly. I was just about to say, I'm sure they're losing.
Who's pitching tonight?
Who doesn't matter?
Stroman was on the mound tonight.
Anyway, next we have Steelers versus Falcons. I'm gonna ride with the Falcons here in their home opener with this brand new team. If it was in Pittsburgh, I probably would have picked Pittsburgh because that's still one of the only real home field advantages left in the NFL. But this is Russell Wilson's first game as a Steeler. Arthur Smith is the OC there. I don't know what he's going to do in his return to Atlanta. I think Atlanta just tries to open everything up, let Kirk Cousins sling that shit all over the place. I don't think it'll be a blowout because Steelers have that still. They got that tough defensive front, but I think Bijan Robinson, Drake London, they get involved early and often, and Arthur Smith has a diary on the sideline on his return to Atlanta. I'm picking the Falcons and Captain Kirk.
You know what Arthur Smith does in his return to the dirty? Doesn't run it inside the 5-yard line. That's what he does. Yeah, Falcons. Kirk Cousins, man. Kirko bangs. He's going to have the chains on. He's going to do the dirty bird. Oh, man. It's going to be cookout central down there. Falcons over the Steelers by the slimmest of margins.
Maybe I'm crazy, but there's a lot of new for the Falcons right now. And while I think they're going to have a good year and I think they're going to win their division, I think a slow start is what I'm going to be predicting for them. And I like the Steelers defense going into this game. And I think a very underrated thing to look out for is for Justin Fields to be a part of the game plan, running the ball. And I think we're going to see some stuff from the Steelers. I think there's going to be a couple surprises, and this team's going to be jolted to start the year. And they are getting 3.5 points.
Hey, Dano, over under the amount of sideline outbursts from Pickens.
It could be over. It could be over even if the Steelers win, because let's say the Justin Fields package gets them like 2 touchdowns, and Pickens is over there with like 5 catches for 40 yards and no scores. I think it's very possible. I would take the over. I would take the over on that.
Ray Tremor. He's a Kirk believer too. He's got the Falcons given 2.5.
All right. I'm the only one with the Steelers. All right, let's go.
Next.
The Mike Tomlin effect is real though.
If it was in Pittsburgh, I'd pick the Steelers. But
defenses travel.
That's offenses don't though. And we don't know what that Big Rusty going to be. We don't know what that Arthur Smith is going to be.
The running game.
Pittsburgh country.
Arthur Smith probably has a fucking puke bucket ready for Najee Harris. So I don't even want to.
Oh no, Jalen Warren and Justin Fields.
Iron sharpens iron, baby. Let's go, Steelers.
It's gonna be thunder and lightning. Jalen Warren and Justin Fields.
That's atrocious. Next.
I'm telling you right now.
Next.
Texans versus Colts. Anthony Richardson's triumphant return. I'm going to pick the Texans here. I think Richardson's got some rust he's got to shake off. He also has to develop. I mean, did you guys know he has 17 total starts post high school?
Dog.
Yeah,
That's
dog.
He's got to
develop. Raw. He's very raw.
He's very raw. He's got to get some reps
dog.
He's got to get some reps in. I don't
say
think
raw dog.
Not necessary. This is, but I think the Colts are still very much in a rebuilding phase. They got to get his confidence up. The Texans pretty much are just ready to win with CJ Stroud, and they surrounded him with even more talent to hopefully avoid that sophomore slump. I think if there's a player that won't have it, it won't be him because of the supporting cast and how well his coach is, and how talented I think he is. So I got the Texans beating the Colts.
Dude, if you haven't done it yet, do it right now. I've been saying it all off season. Take $25, go over to the official betting sponsor of Dog Talk Sports. Go over to Caesars Sportsbook. Throw $25 on your boy CJ Stroud for MVP. Sunday's the kickoff to it, baby. Houston Texans, big division win. Love me some raw dog Anthony Richardson, but not in this matchup. Going to Texans, I feel like those 17 games as a starter, that learning curve, a DeMeco Ryans led team, the defense is gonna make one big play, cause that big turnover. Going Houston.
Yeah, I've got the Texans giving 3 points on the road. I just think they're more talented top to bottom. I like the head coach quarterback combination right now a little bit more, got a little bit more confidence in that. So pretty simple to me.
We got ourselves a family pick because Ray Tremor has got them given 1.5, and he's got the Houston Texans winning on the road.
All right. Cardinals, Bills in Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bills here. I kind of want to see what the Cardinals do to start the year. Marvin Harrison's there. This is, Kyler Murray's first real year back from the torn ACL. I know he played a few games last year, but this is his first real, first year back from the injury. I want to see how he looks. He doesn't have a great history of playing in cold weather, but it's September. It's a little warm in Buffalo, but I still not too sure about the Cardinals yet. I'm not too sure about the Bills yet either, but I do know, what I am sure of is I'm sure of Josh Allen, and I think he will lead the Bills to a home opener win, and that's about it.
Marshawn Lynch once said, "Ain't nothing good in Buffalo," and it's probably right. However, I feel like Kyler Murray, he's getting an early jump on the Call of Duty, and he's hitting the sticks hard already.
It's damn good.
Buffalo Bills are going to take this at home. Josh Allen is going to start his turnover brigade, but he's still going to score some touchdowns. So look for at least one Josh Allen turnover, if not two, but a win, and probably a Josh Allen rushing touchdown. So take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, you guys said everything I was going to say. I've got the Bills giving 6.5 points.
Raymond's got him given 7.5. So another bingo bango. We got a
family pick. Let's go.
Family. Titans Bears. The Bears home opener. Possibly the biggest Bears home opener in history. Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, new coordinators. Keenan Allen is there, who's also hurt again. DJ Moore in his second year with the Bears. This is a whole new era for the Bears. This is probably the most excited Bears fans have been since the 85 Bears. And they're playing against a Titans team that is, in my opinion, really not good. They moved on from Mike Vrabel, which in my opinion was a mistake. I think they got worse at the coaching position. I don't know what Will Levis is. I know that DeAndre Hopkins is getting old. I'm going to take the Bears in Caleb Williams' debut. They got the win in Soldier Field.
What I know about the Tennessee Titans is they are a wide receiver graveyard. So T's and P's. DeAndre Hopkins, you had a great career. Calvin Ridley, you, my friend, you bet on one too many parlays, and guess what? Your career, in the toilet. See you later. And that mayonnaise loving freak, if I have to see that commercial where he's doing leg squats on the fucking Hellman's mayonnaise, that ain't it. Go mix your mayonnaise and your coffee somewhere else. Not in Chi-Town. because we're painting our nails this weekend, baby. And Caleb Williams, the come out party starts this weekend. Bears at home.
Yeah, I think the energy at home is going to be a lot for the Titans. I think, to me, this is a lot more about the Titans being bad than it is the Bears being good. So in that case, I've got the Bears winning the game outright, but I don't like the Bears giving 4 points. I feel like this could still be a close game. I feel like this is something where, the Bears could kick a field goal at the end to win it. So I would probably take the Titans get 4 points here.
Ray Tremor would agree with you. Ray has the Tennessee Titans getting 5.5 points in this one.
All right. Jaguars, Dolphins, battle of the Florida teams heading to each other here. I mean, it's pretty much a home game for both teams. They're just right there. I'm going to take the Dolphins. Their offense should not change at all. I think the offense either stays just the same as it was last year or is even better. Dolphins in the first half of the year are notorious for scoring 30-plus points a game, with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua, and those two running backs, A-Chain and Mostert. The Jaguars, I know Trevor Lawrence has Brian Thomas Jr. He's got a new toy. Evan Ingram is always solid, but they lost Zay Jones. So, and I'm still not a fan of Jacksonville's defense. I don't think Jacksonville's defense is stopping Miami's offense. So I got the Dolphins dropping a ton of points on Jacksonville and really showing the world that Trevor Lawrence just ain't all that great.
Listen, said it last year. I said it this year. Tua Tagovailoa is a top 10 quarterback. Put the respect on the man's name. It helps when you got Tyreek 2000 running out there. Yeah, I think the Dolphins offense is going to be too much. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, this is the best it's going to get for him, I feel like. We just seen him kind of ride that wave. Yeah, Miami at home, shout out. Michael Tellup, listener. He's going to be in his aquamarine going bananas. This is the only time I'll shout it out because I'm going to lead a brigade of silver and black in there in November. So I'll give you this one. Home opener, Miami.
Yeah, I think Mr. Michael Tellup is going to be smiling from ear to ear during this one. I just think the Dolphins team speed is so much greater than what the Jaguars have. And I also agree that Trevor Lawrence just isn't what he was prophesized to be. He just isn't. And Dolphins are going to score, maybe 42, 47 points in this game.
Good.
And they are giving 3.5 points, and I would take them given the points.
Ray Tremor would agree. He's giving 3.5. Dolphins, book it.
All right, we got Broncos, Seahawks. Seahawks in Seattle, the other only team that still has a real true home field advantage, in my opinion. Another year of Geno, another year of DK Metcalf, another year of development for Jackson Smith and Jigba. New coaching staff, though, for the first time. Pete Carroll is out. New guys are in. Denver's coming to town. Bo Nix, NFL debut. That's a tough place to start your playing career in Seattle. But I'm going to take the Seahawks at home here. I think Bo Nix might take a couple games to maybe get in the rhythm a little bit. Still a rookie. Like Dan said, preseason isn't real football. So I'm going to take the Seahawks.
Preseason means shit. And we're going to have to say, Bo no, when he throws that first pick 6 of the day. I'm never going to pick the Broncos on here. You'll never hear those words come out of my mouth. So, Geno, get it done.
Well, I really don't like the Broncos, and I didn't go into this thinking that I wanted to pick the Broncos, but they're my upset of the week. The Seahawks are given 6 points at home, and I look at the coaching situation for Seattle, and I'm questioning, you know, is there's a lot of new scheme, new this, new that, and the Broncos have actually just been more stable now that we're in year 2 of Sean Payton. I'm not betting against Sean Payton in a matchup like this against a first year head coach. I think this is ripe for the picking for upset of the week.
Can't believe you said that.
I don't like Sean Payton, but he's a good coach. I mean, you got to put respect.
I give no respect to him, and Ray Tremor doesn't either. Seattle giving 4.5 right there.
See, that's a smart man right there. Smart man right there. Sean Payton is so bad at his job that they had Kevin James play him in a movie. Terrible.
Sean Payton's bad at his job when he doesn't have players.
There will be no Kevin James slander on
you do not slander my favorite.
I am not slandering Kevin James at all. That just goes to show how unserious Sean Payton is.
I think a lot of coaches will be bad with a bad roster. I think you start getting them some talent. I mean, maybe he has a quarterback that he trusts right now. I think that's a big deal. Whether it's just preseason or not is a different story.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
He's a pile of shit.
Just for this game, I hate them.
He's a pile of shit.
I absolutely hate them. I would never pick the Broncos.
Pile of shit.
The Broncos I've always had a bad taste in my mouth from the Broncos. Ever since the Jets lost that championship game in '98 to them. That was the last year for John Elway. I've always hated the Broncos. Always.
I was about to say, every Jets fan is supposed to hate them.
You picked them week 1.
Yeah, I did. Because I'm trying to pick on bias over here.
What has Texas done to you?
We'll see, Pete. Hey, get all your picks right, buddy.
I got that one right, at least.
Oh, okay. Sure. We'll see.
All right, next we got the Raiders versus the Chargers. Interdivisional matchup. I mean, this is pretty much just going to be a Raiders home game here. It was last year as well. The Chargers have a lot of question marks for me. Justin Herbert's one of them because he's going to be playing hurt all year long thanks to that foot injury. He doesn't have anyone to throw the ball to. We'll see how this kid Ladd McConkey can be. He's still a rookie, so, we don't know. We know Quentin Johnston is a walking dumpster fire. Jim Harbaugh's first year, he loves to run the ball with nobody. So this is a recipe for a really bad home opener, in my opinion, for the Chargers. I think the Raiders go in and impose their will, led by Max Crosby, that D-line, and I think Gardner Minshew, when there's no pressure on Gardner Minshew to win, that's when he performs his best. And I think Gardner Minshew will have a good game against the Chargers, and I think the Raiders take the win in LA.
Ill intent, violence, physicality, pain. Raiders.
I do
Simple
like
as that. Simple as that.
I do like
the
that.
Minshew mustache, Max Crosby, dogs. Raiders. Devontae Adams is going to torch them.
Probably.
I really struggled with this game. I'm not going to overthink it too much. I understand this is more like a neutral game than it is a Chargers home game. Probably a Raiders home game, but I just got to go coach and quarterback. Yeah, I've got big questions about Herbert's durability long term, and maybe that'll affect him at some point this season, but it shouldn't affect him that much this week. So I'm sorry, man. I got to go coach and quarterback here.
The fuck did you just pick? Oh my god!
I picked the Chargers. I picked the Chargers, given 3 points at home.
That's rough.
Yeah, and I'm going to be right about it.
You
What
know
does
what
Ryan think?
Beer bet.
Beer bet.
Ray Tremor has the Raiders getting 2.5 points on the road.
You were waiting to get that one out.
So simple. It's right in front of you. Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Kuntz are going to be all over Justin Herbert.
Well, I don't think you can overlook what the Chargers have on our offensive line.
The Chargers' offensive line is still pretty good.
Flat tire.
I'm not disregarding the Raiders' pass rush, especially. I would never disregard Max Crosby, but let's not act like the Chargers have like a bottom feeding offensive line. I mean, they have ability to move people.
Yeah. Good. Who are they going to double team? Are they going to double team Max? They're going to double team Wilkins.
The best way to play against a guy like Crosby is to run at him. I think you're going to see that.
What? Oh, good. Gus Bus. I heard flat tire.
They may just let Joe Alt take care of somebody because that's how fucking gigantic he is. He's just an aircraft carrier.
They might just run behind him, and he's nowhere. He's on the other side of Max Crosby.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, 405. I'm tuning up.
Cowboys Browns in Cleveland. A lot of question marks once again in Cleveland. Is this the year Deshaun Watson finally finds it? Is this the year is he finally going to be healthy in Cleveland? You're getting $60 million guaranteed a year. You know, you go, oh, you know, my elbow's a little sore today. It's just it's hard to wake up when you got silk sheets. So, in my opinion, we know what the Cowboys are, and that's Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb connection. The Cowboys have a history of beating the Browns bad. I'm going to take the Cowboys against the Browns.
Boom, Cowboy up. Yeehaw. It is going to be the CeeDee Lamb show. Look for Dak to just throw some points on the board. I know the Browns have an awesome defense, but Dak Prescott is auditioning to be a Raider, so he is going to show up and show out on Sunday. I got the Cowboys winning straight up.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys winning straight up. And I have them with the points. I mean, they're actually getting 2.5 points. I like Dak over what they have over there right now. I mean, I'm not a believer in any kind of resurgence and Deshaun Watson. I just think at this point it is what it is. I mean, they've restructured his deal, just to give you an idea. Like, you know, they basically read him the riot act by restructuring his deal. I mean, he had to agree to it because they were just gonna cut him or whatever. But I like the Cowboys.
We got another family pick. Ray Tremor has the Cowboys giving 1.5. That's how confident he is in this.
Ring that bell, ring that bell.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, really, Deshaun Watson rather be lying on a massage table than suiting up for a Sunday game.
He could end up getting assaulted in this game by that deep. I mean, they still have some ferocious pass rushers on that defense.
Listen, if they touch his tush hole, he might like it.
The thoughts. Hold on a sec. Go ahead, Pete. You can go. The thoughts expressed by
any member of this podcast are not an overall reflection of the podcast as a whole. Those are the individual thoughts, and that's what I gotta say.
Yeah, sure. Next is Commanders versus Bucks in Tampa. Jaden Daniels' NFL debut in the regular season. I'm going to take the Bucks at home. Year 2 of Baker in the same system. But technically, I'm sorry, new system, but year 2 Baker there. Still got Mike Evans, still got Chris Godwin, Rashad White, pretty okay defense. Washington is still, I don't know what they're going to be. That's another team I need to figure out what they're going to be. You know, they got the corpse of Austin Eckler running the ball over there. We got Jaden Daniels trying to find a wide receiver to throw to. Maybe it's Luke McCaffrey. Maybe it's Scary Terry. It ain't Jahan Dotson because they got rid of him. But I'm going to take the Bucks at home. I think Washington is going to take a few weeks to really figure out who they are.
Hit the nail right on the head. You don't know what you're getting in Washington right now. A lot of promise for Jaden Daniels, but it's a rookie. You got to figure out who you're throwing to. Is Luke McCaffrey going to be a dog or a puppy? Scary Terry. I got to go Baker and the boys. Another year of just slinging dimes to Mike Evans. Look for another 1,000-yard year. Look for 10 tutties. It's Mr. Consistency on a Hall of Fame career. Baker Mayfield getting it done in Florida.
Yeah. Listen, I don't like Todd Bowles, and I don't think the Bucks have a good defense, but I agree that there's a lot of new with the Commanders, and while I think they do have a chance to be good off the bat with Jaden Daniels, I like the Bucks with the experience and all that with Baker Mayfield. So give me the Bucks giving 3.5 points.
The corpse of Austin Eckler.
Hey, you watch your mouth. He's on my team and he's shining and looks very pretty on my bench right now.
Oh yeah. All skeletons are shining.
Slander in Dan's presence.
There will be no Austin Eckler slander. Hey, he's going to get more work than people think. People are just writing him off. I mean, they paid him money to play, so he's going to play.
Listen, they paid him a lot of money to run 5 miles an hour too. I mean,
they wrote him off.
He was hurt. He was hurt last year.
It's over.
Nah. They said they're saying he's looking better in camp. Nah, you guys are just hating on him.
They always it's their job to say shit like that. Let's see what happens.
Someone's gonna come out and say, "Oh shit."
Unbiased
corpse of Austin Eckler.
Unbiased media outlets are saying it.
We are the unbiased media outlets.
This is the real sports media here.
Oh yeah, well. Okay then.
All right. What did Ray think?
Oh man, he's got Tampa fucking giving 4.5. It's Baker and the boys slapping it up. The only thing that's gonna stop Tampa from winning this game is if Baker goes on a booze binge and gets chased down by the cops before the game.
Now that man runs 5 miles an hour.
That's another family pick. That's another family pick.
Boom! That man does run drunkenly, like that meme where the kid runs out of the car with the he has the Burger King hat on and he has the jock strap on and gets tased and he just yeets right to the ground. That's how Baker runs from the cops.
Yeah. I think under those circumstances, I'm faster than Baker Mayfield.
Listen, he got smashed into the concrete. Shout out to Baker Mayfield and his wild card.
Listen. I mean, he's the man for that video even existing, I guess. But like, come on, bro. Like, you tried to outrun the cop. You're the quarterback of Oklahoma. You can't outrun a fat cop. That was wrong.
I kind of agree with you.
You are a D1 college athlete, and you could not run away from a mall cop.
That's so bad, bro. I mean, no, this is obviously no disrespect to the police at all. Please, nobody take it that way. The officer in the video did not look like a man who was in shape. And Baker Mayfield had absolutely zero business not outrunning him. Instead, this man caught him like he trapped a squirrel in the corner.
Let's be a lesson to you folks. Don't judge a book by its cover, because I'm sure Baker thought in his head too, I'm a D1 athlete. I got this guy.
That's inexcusable. I'm showing that in the quarterback meeting room every week. Be like, you better be good at throwing the football because you can't do that.
If I'm Washington, I'm playing him in meetings all week saying he can't run away from the pass rush. Collapse the pocket and he's done.
Yeah. Opposing teams should be showing that footage all week. Be like, you get him on the run, and this is what happens.
Sunday Night Football on NBC.
I think we got another family pick.
Probably. Rams versus Lions in Detroit. Detroit starts their season to try to make it back to the NFC Championship game. That was a heartbreaker last year. Matt Stafford goes back to Detroit once again, but I'm taking the Lions, top 3 team in the NFC. Dan Campbell's going to have them gassed up. So you know the Lions are going to win this home opener. But you know what's interesting is Jared Goff and the Lions play in a dome every single game this year, except for 2 games.
Yeah.
So a little interesting.
If you're going to bet on a team this year for parlays and prop bets and gadgets and gadgets, the Detroit Lions, because they are playing in a dome, as you said, and it is going to be the greatest show on turf. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that these Detroit Lions, Detroit Rock City, they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm calling it right now. Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl representing the NFC. You heard it here first. And week 1, Dan Campbell gassed up, got his coffee in his veins, 16 espresso shots, a mocha latte, a venti double pump, whatever. It's over. Book it now. Detroit ruins Matty Stafford coming back to Detroit. It's over. Lions.
I do like the Lions to win the game outright, but I don't like them giving 3.5 points. It's still Matt Stafford. It's still Sean McVay. They have Puka Nacua. They have Cooper Kupp, who is now healthy again. I think that they could keep up with the Lions enough to keep it a close game, but 3.5 points, I don't like anything over 3. If it were under 3, I would take the Lions. Take the Lions money line, but I like the Rams getting that many points.
Ray Tremor says, fuck that half a point, 3.5. Give it to them. It ain't going to be enough. Not for this team. Amon-Ra St. Brown, David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs is going for 2,000 all-purpose this year. Bet the house on the Lions right now.
All right.
I think there are too many mouths to feed for anybody in that offense to have 2,000 yards.
Jared Goff, baby, is dishing the rock out left and right. Screen passes. Booyah! It's over.
Oh, man, you are all on.
5,000 yards for Jared Goff this year.
Boom.
I can see that.
Put the money down on it.
We got Pete on the Jared Goff train right now.
Woo, woo. Listen, he could be second in MVP voting to CJ Stroud.
I love Jared Goff this year. I just can't disrespect coach and quarterback for the Rams also at the same time. I think, and they have playmakers on that team.
Monday Night Football.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, bum, bum. Jets, 49ers, Levi Stadium. This was kind of a tough one to pick. Both teams have extremely strong defenses. It is Aaron Rodgers' first real game back in, really 2 years. So I'm going to go with the 49ers on this one. I think the Jets have to shake off a little bit of rust with Aaron Rodgers. It's just the 49ers, in my opinion, are the best team in football, the most talented team in football. They got Trent Williams signed. They got Ayuk signed. Everybody is signed and ready to roll. They're really rallying around and inspired by Ricky Parcell, who thank God above that he survived his encounter with someone trying to rob him and getting shot in the chest and released from the hospital. They think he's going to
Yeah.
play this year. I think the team really they're together right now. I think that really brought them together. And I just think the Niners don't need any extra motivation. And I just think the Niners win this game against the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers kind of dips his toes back into playing, gets into a rhythm a little bit more. But I got the Niners in this really tough matchup.
And now for the number 2 of my double main event matchup of the week. We're bookending it, baby. What an awesome game to end the week on for the opening week. Could be a Super Bowl preview, maybe. Who knows? Crazy things. But this pick right here in my matchup of the week is brought to you by the official gum this week of Dog Talk Sports. We're going double bubble, baby.
That's a good one.
For the double main event. And I'm going Aaron Rodgers on the road. Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I had the Jets at 14 wins. I dulled that down to 12 and a half because I was like, 14's way too much. But you know what? Fuck it. Give the guy the American flag. Run him out the tunnel again. Let's do some jumping jacks. The Achilles is healed. The ayahuasca's flowing through the veins.
Oh, Lord.
Bring it on, baby. The redemption story, the comeback player of the year, Aaron Rodgers, on the road. It's going to be a close one. Defensive battle. Book the CMC anytime Tud right now because we're clocking in on that one. And yeah, I'm going Jets 32-31.
That's not very defensive.
It will be when the turnovers come.
Yeah, this is my matchup of the week. Really struggled here. There are so many factors at play. Here's what I'll say for betting purposes: the Niners, with the spreads that I was looking at, the Niners are given 4.5 points. So if you're a betting man, I like the Jets with 4.5 points because the Niners could win by a field goal in overtime and they would still win that. But the 49ers money line is probably your best bet here. The East Coast team traveling out to West Coast, start the year, some jitters. I mean, the 49ers are no joke. This is still a stacked roster from top to bottom. The Jets could lose this game and still have a really good year. I mean, they realistically could lose this game and still win 14 games, I think, Pete. So there won't be many times that I pick against the Jets outright, but this is going to be one of them.
I completely agree. I still have them winning 12 games. This is just one of the games that they're going to lose.
Man.
What is rating?
Going into this, all right, so let me just say this. Going into this podcast, we learned some really important things this week because I was leaning heavy on my team. Trust me. We learned that Brandon Ayuk got done and he will be playing. And then we learned that the even more important player that people weren't talking about as much was the 49ers offense is basically built around Trent Williams, re-signed, is back with the team. If Trent Williams was not playing this game, I would have picked the Jets. The 49ers offense is different with him in the lineup. I think that's evident. I think we've seen that before. And I just think they're so strong at home right now.
Yeah, I can't. It's a tough game. I get it.
It's really tough, man.
I'm a big Aaron guy. I got the comeback story. I'm going with that.
No, man, listen, of course, I hope that happens. I want to know because I really think this game's going to overtime, and I should have looked it up, what the odds are for the game going into overtime, I would slam that, man. I mean, this has all the makings of that kind of game. It's going to be a slugfest back and forth. You're going to see a little bit of everything, I think.
Well, Ray Tremor says San Francisco at home given 6.5 points. He has.
Wow. He took him given 6.5 points.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of
Crazy.
points.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of points to give up. That's a really talented defense that's going in there.
All right. What is everybody's fantasy player of the week? My fantasy player of the week, good old-fashioned Joe Cool, Joe Burrow going against the Patriots at home. Going to drop 4 touchdown passes, 350 yards. Just going to run up the score for everyone's fantasy quarterback that starts him.
All right. That was going to be my go-to, but I feel like that's the easy pick.
Sometimes the easy pick's the right one.
Don't take mine. Don't take mine, Pete.
Listen, I already threw $25 on him. This is how we start the season. CJ Stroud with the MVP push right out the gate. Boom.
No, that's a good pick. I like both of those picks. My fantasy player of the week is a non-quarterback. I like Zack Moss to score 2 touchdowns and get 150 all-purpose yards against the Patriots. They're going to lean on him. They're not going to ask Joe Burrow to do a whole lot in this game. I don't think they're going to have to. I think they're going to be able to kind of bully the Patriots and give me some Zack Moss this year, baby. Let's go.
Wow, that could qualify as a sleeper pick too, right there, Dan.
Well, my sleeper pick is even more of a sleeper pick.
Oh my God.
My sleeper fantasy pick of the week is Rome Odunze. I think with Keenan Allen getting a little hobbled already, I think he is someone that can really, you can start in the flex and maybe get 8-9 points, possible touchdown catch. Maybe. Why not?
Why not? Now, my fantasy sleeper of the week. Originally, I'm going quarterbacks all around this week. Originally, I was going to say Caleb Williams with the come out party, but a little bit sleepier than that. On the road, Sam Darnold, baby, returning to New York, New Jersey metro area. Justin Jefferson, look out. Boom.
Just so wrong.
All right, I went a little homer with my sleeper pick. I'm going Braylon Allen. Everybody's looking for Breece Hall to have a big game or have a big year. I think he will have a big year. But in a matchup like this, look for Braylon Allen to get a lot of work in short yardage at the goal line and maybe a couple of vulture touchdowns for Mr. Breece Hall.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Also, my double sleeper pick of the week, Gardner Minshew, baby. Look out for the mustache.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Any last word, notes?
I love it.
Anything of work as we kind of wrap things up a little bit here? All I'm going to say is good luck to all the fantasy players. Good luck to all the sports bettors out there. And thank God football is back, and very, very excited for this year. I'm just pumped. I'm just psyched and I'm pumped.
I'm going to rock with those sentiments all the way around. Oracle, sorry, week 1. You're stepping into territory, baby.
I know it's going to be really. It's going to be.
We've got an inner podcast matchup.
It's an inner podcast matchup, and it's just
week 1.
Listen, it's going to be rough when Saquon scores 3 touchdowns against Green Bay and Brazil.
Shitty draft. So Stud up. Dano, our fantasy draft, you got $37 left over. That was enough for a pretty good ticket wide receiver. I did some math and checking. You missed the boat on a wide receiver. So did I.
No, I'm strong at wide receiver. I'm weak at running back.
I got
Everyone
some.
is weak at running back.
I'm strong at receiver. Check those receivers again. You take a look. I'm good.
Listen, Jonathan,
I'm
baby,
pretty strong all around. Let me tell you something right now.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Kirko Bangs throwing tutties down in the dirty.
I think it's going to be a slow start.
I hope his Achilles holds up.
I think it's going to be a slow start. I think the Falcons are going to have a little bit of working things out to do, but they'll get it together.
We'll see. We'll see.
Right. With that being said, keep calling it. Peace out, everybody. Love, foosball, all the above. We will be here every single week for the NFL season, doing predictions, recaps, special events. And when it comes to October, we'll have to talk about the Yankees again. So we shall see. Peace out, everybody.
Go.
Dog.